some producers, they really do amazing work with only digital tools. And then there are some producers which really do amazing work with hardware synthesizers, and it's kind of needed for their workflow. For an example, for like producer examples, I'm just going to give you some examples. Kinzaza, for example, or Willow Wisp, or people like that. Myself actually also included. There are some synthesizers which are extremely important to my work. So I still see the value in hardware synthesizers, even if they're digital, for example. And I still didn't came around to extensively, continuously use VSTs for sound creation. So yeah, maybe you guys can share your way of working. First of all, do you work with hardware or do you work with VSTs? I'm talking about like basically synthesis in this case. No, obviously not inserts. So I'm talking about the creation of sound. Where do you do your sounds?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, maybe we start with Ilya in this case.
Yes. So my vision, I like both of them. I mean VST and hardware, because, for example, for me, uh, packet from UHE company, very nice. Like for example, Zebra, Diva. I very like use Diva, especially for atmosphere, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But in some cases, I have Virus TI2 desktop, and I still like to use it because it's digital analog synthesizer, but I still like how uh, this kind of metallic sound of this
Well,
synthesizer.
which one was the last one you said?
I told you I have Virus TI2 desktop,
Yeah,
and I really like this metallic sound, this
yeah, exactly.
synthesizer.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yes, and for example, from other VST synthesizer, I cannot get the same character of sound. This kind of metallic one, you know.
yeah,
This
yeah,
is I try many times. I do the same times, with VST, same setup, and it's not work like this, like same.
yeah, yeah.
But
There,
one things what I get in VST, you can warm it. I mean, make it a bit warm signal. Like for example, once I been in maybe you know this guy Overdream, this Ukrainian guy, Ukrainian producer, Maxus,
mhm.
very nice guy, and we was recording the track with him, and he still now I think he have it like a small preamp with two inputs, two outputs, like a stereo with lamp, and he recording the sound from the VST through this lamp. And when he zooming the clip, what he done, what we are recording, I was see the difference between what we are recording from VST and what we're recording from this preamp. It have the bit small difference between wave shape. And it's
Yeah,
really interesting conception how to make your signal more, okay, I can say analog, but it's
yeah,
not
yeah, yeah,
analog.
for
Like
sure.
you try mm, make your sound more warm, more fat. This is a point for me. Doesn't matter for me now which source I using, VST or virus. For me, the more important how I do, how I put it in the mix. Because to be honest, you can record big spectrum of the sound, but
Hmm.
usually you need small amount of the frequencies in the mix in the your track. And you cutting more high, more low. And this way you're losing some energy, but
Yeah,
still you need it.
yeah,
It's
it
like
will depend.
it's
Yeah,
my feeling about VST and hardware.
yeah, yeah. Well, okay, Alfie, you want to continue?
Yeah, in my case, I really love both of them, the VSD and the hardware. In this case, uh, I usually really like Virus TI because I can easily make whatever I want instantly, and it's really complete. and it have their own texture for the sounding. And sometimes I use Nerd, but
Nerd? What is nerd?
Nordly.
Nord lead
Ah,
the
Nord.
yeah. Sorry for the the
Yeah,
red one, yeah.
yeah,
Um,
Klavier. Okay.
uh, but uh, but I really love the sounds for the serum. I really love the
Yeah,
sounding of the Vital, and I think actually all of them are really crazy, and in this way have their character for their style. And in this case, I really like to mix everything with each other, with some analog sound and some electronic digital sound in this case.
Yeah, yeah, same.
yeah.
But
It's
And
it's like it's like I give you really big amount of the variation of the sounds actually when you're mixing it together.
yeah,
exactly,
yeah. I obviously use a lot of virus as well, like tremendous amounts of virus actually. And
Some Samuel, you're addictive to virus again, I think.
yeah, I am very addicted to the virus. You can see it from my knobs. I really have to replace them. They're almost gone now. So I used it so much that that the knobs are not there anymore. It's like the rubber is, it's almost finished, the most of them. So I use a lot of virus, but
you,
it can become a bit stale if you're using only one thing.
Correct.
Yeah. On the other hand, it's really, really good to use one thing for a very long time and to really do that, uh, you know, until you know it in and out, basically.
Man, but to be honest, I know some really top-notch producer who create all music only from virus. I mean, not kick, bass, not drum section, but
Yeah.
only synthesizer sound only
Yeah.
from virus.
Well,
And sometimes I like a confusion about this. But at the result, you will see good music because it's a really high
yeah.
level of production. I
Yeah.
don't
So
want to mark name.
I have a lot of tracks where I was only using the virus, and yeah, like tons of my tracks are exclusively done with virus, exactly as you said, except kick and bass and drums. Usually I use samples for the drums, and kick and bass I do with different tools, either
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
buzzing, VB1, Serum, and I used probably 20, 30 different things for bass in the last 12 years or something like that.
Oh yes, oh yes.
But ultimately, actually, VB1 is still a really, really killer bass. A lot of people are using it. A lot of us are using it because you know what you're getting. You can modify it a lot by processing it as well. And yeah, so come back to the thing. I mean, the virus, for example, we love it, and it has a particular analog sound, despite the fact that it's a digital synthesizer. It's completely
Let
digital.
let's
exactly,
talk. He have character.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
does have a lot of character. There is actually
Yeah.
now a VST that tries to emulate the virus, and
So
yeah,
small words about VST. For example, Zebra. I correct say
yeah,
Zebra. Yeah, from
Zebra.
UHE company. Zebra have very interesting modulation of different parameters of phase, of fractalizer phase. It's like what is it fractalizer? Nobody know. But they fractalize your phase. And there are many small options to modulate your oscillator or whatever, which I not found, for example, in virus.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, there are lots of VSTs that come with unique features, and that's
Yeah,
what makes them. The virus is 20 years old now, and it's insane that it's still that much in use, and that it's still absolutely an amazing
favorite of
system.
side runs.
Yeah, and so is the G2, for example. They are not dropping in price by a lot since more than a decade. So actually, prices are
Yeah.
increasing for the G2. The G2 costs now double as much as the release price. While it costs 1,000 euros at the release, now it costs 2,000 euros on eBay. So those things, they are kind of timeless. But then new additions to the assortment of VST synthesizers, like the Vital, which comes with this transpose snap modulation feature, which obviously the virus doesn't have.
I
Um,
think I don't know what is it.
it's an excellent feature where you can use the LFOs to actually create art sounds because you lock it to certain intervals. So you
Ah,
can,
okay, okay. I get you.
yeah,
I will check.
it's kind of a it's kind of an LFO but musical mode. So you can totally use
Mm-hmm.
that harmonically. You can punch in the scale that you're using. Let's say you're using a small second and a tritonus, then you're going to punch in small second and a tritonus, and it's going to be harmonic. So if you're using wild LFO pitch modulation, it can sound very interesting for FX, but obviously it's going to be not very tonal. And this LFO,
Mm-hmm.
it
Yes,
gives you
yes.
the it gives you the option to do crazy stuff, and it sounds unique.
But it
So
will be by tonal way, correctly.
yeah,
Because okay, okay. Because I put on my computer Vital, but I still not go into deep into it. Just
yeah,
just
I
want to check
was
it.
I was checking it out a bit. It's cool. You can do wavetables, your own wavetables, like in Serum, with even more
Mm-hmm.
advanced features for wavetable modulation, or I don't know how to say. Like, it has quite a cool feature set. It's completely free. On top of that, that's amazing. So there's different versions, but the higher versions are just coming with more presets, but not more functions. So
Yes.
yeah, so it's a no-brainer. Kind of everybody. I mean, everybody downloaded it anyway. It was a big hype with the Vital last year.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Um, there is no real reason to not download it because it's for free and it's really cool, and it's not even freemium, so it's not even cut down or anything like that. It's actually the full version of Vital.
I think it's more about lazy people who don't know or who don't want to create their
Yeah,
own sound. They just want to
yes,
open person.
yeah.
No, to
Okay,
be honest, I also okay. Let's chat.
yeah.
Let's chat
What
about
do
it.
you guys think about, for example, something like Avenger? Do you know Avenger?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is sample based and it's not really synthesis. And I see the biggest problem there, for example, is that a lot of producers will take this and, for example, they write a track in a certain tone or root note and in a certain scale, and then there's already something programmed inside the sounds, like for example some complex chords or some melody sequences there that are inside there, and then they're just using that and putting it on top of what they're doing. And let's say it's, for example, an arp that is in a different scale. It just like it hits, it's becoming completely unharmonic because of that. And if the person doesn't have a good ear, well, so yeah, those things I also like to use them, but it's a little bit more iffy. You really need to take a look at what actually the sounds are doing inside the sound. What did the sound designers do actually from the
But
tonalities?
For
tell me, I not understand. This is Avenger. This is a sampler, I think. It's not a
No,
synthesizer.
it's sample based. It's not really a sampler.
yeah, but in
I
this case,
Okay.
I uh, actually use any VSTs to make some samples and record it as a wave and chop it and make it into a next level. Actually, for me it's not
Yeah,
different a lot in this case because I just transpose the sample and match with the tones that I want to.
sure. But you need to know about it and you need to have a look at that. Both of those things. And sometimes it's quite complex from how the sound is done. And Yeah, obviously, if you have a look at that and you adjust it, most
just
of the
want to
people.
tell you, you need to adjust.
Hmm?
You just want to adjust the samples to your track, because mostly the sample not adjusted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, anything more about VSTs and hardware? Well, what I found really interesting, I did some experiments, for example, with the MS-10, and then routing the signal from this analog, fully analog synthesizer into the Virus TI and playing around with that. And it's actually possible to use VSTs and route them into the virus as well with your sound card, and then use the
Yeah,
virus on the VST. So, for example, you're doing a crazy lead sound or something
yeah.
on
I
Serum.
just want to tell you one thing. My friend, he in Brazil, he have the small make noise zero custom one, and he, how you know this zero custom one don't have the any filter. It's only
Yeah.
oscillator. I think I'm not
Yeah.
so much into it, but I know. And he put output in the virus inputs, and
Yeah,
he put through the combo filter. He
yeah,
won't get
exactly.
this feeling of the metallic sound, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
exactly.
also he using same story through the from the sound card. He put the signal of the VST through the filter of the virus.
yeah. I was doing that a lot with a couple of different synthesizers, and exactly. So with the MS-10, I was doing pretty much the same. I was using this ultra fat, incredible analog oscillator for noise
Mm-hmm.
and also for raw saw waves and mixed waves, etc. It has an incredible timbre, and then together with the kind of high technology virus TI effects on top of that, like the comp filter, as you said, or like the tape delay, which is also super sick
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
virus.
yeah.
Um,
It's like you're able to use whatever you like from virus effects. Actually, you want flanger, flanger, chorus, you use chorus. You want to phaser, you use phaser. And actually, I really like phaser character of phaser virus. But you know, yeah, how many? Few days ago, I was checking one video about the how it's calling radical frequencies. It's calling oscillator module oscillator. And you know what I found? I found a very interesting feature. They can do FM. This oscillator have alpha and beta oscillator,
mhm.
two oscillator, and you can do FM crossing from alpha to beta and from beta to alpha. You know, cross modulation. For
Yeah,
example, the virus don't have it.
yeah, many things. You will
Yeah,
find
yeah, many things. Yeah, yeah. But
you will find a
especially
lot of
these features, I really like in hardware synthesizer. But it's
yeah.
actually need to build your own module. I think in this
Yeah.
way.
So what I can definitely say why I love the virus that much is actually touching the virus and being able to completely immerse myself by, just having access to all the different areas, and you can completely transform a sound. You can start at one point, you can go to another point. And this gives the sound a lot of soul, I think, also by just like using your hands a lot. So those are the things which I really, really appreciate. Obviously, you can use the MIDI controller, but for me, it's still something different to touch a real instrument or
Yes.
to remote
Yes.
control an instrument. You can obviously you should still use MIDI controllers for Serum and for anything that you use, basically that is not hardware. But still,
But bro, you know what? One thing. For some people, they like to use mouse. I know people hate to turn the knobs. You know, they like mouse. You know. For
but
me and
that's
for you, no, man. It just think about this. People have different logic. You and me, we guys who want to turn. You know, because I have
yeah,
desktop now. I understand. I never come back to snow because for me,
yeah.
snow it's how you tell me in Goa. It's pain in the ass, and
It
I don't want to come back. You know, I want to
yeah, yeah.
turn myself these knobs.
it's just perfect for traveling. The Snow is the perfect travel synthesizer. It's like
Yes, yes.
it's a sound card, it's an effect thingy, it's a it's so many things at the same time. It's a multi synthesizer that you can use for multiple channels,
For
four
life.
channels for
Yeah,
live.
yeah,
You can use it
yeah.
as a sound card. It's pretty perfect for traveling, but it's a very limited version, really. Like I can do sounds with the virus on the big one. We talked about it. I definitely can
Yeah,
do
yeah.
more some crazy stuff that is not possible on the Snow because
One,
of the
one,
not.
one guy told me, man, why you don't need to buy desktop, buy Snow, and buy one controller more? Like,
No,
I
no,
told, no,
it's
no,
not.
it's not work like this. Yes,
It's
yes.
not working like that. It's good and important to have a controller for the VSTs, in my opinion. Then I really
Yeah, yeah.
want that.
Fuck,
Mm,
man, I have two of them. Big one.
yeah, I have a SL25 MK2, and unfortunately, the on the first octave, the A and the B are kind of not working properly. You have to press them really hard. It's fucking taking it's really annoying. And I cleaned it. I opened it and I cleaned it. But all of those MIDI controllers, this one, for example, is an expensive MIDI controller. But most of them are really cheap quality Chinese plastic stuff. Akai, same story.
Novation, yes?
Yeah, it's Novation, and it's really expensive. It has touch functionality, or it was expensive when I bought it. It has
I think
touch
my,
functionality and stuff.
yeah, I think my friend have the same story.
Yeah, it's a good controller if it works, but yeah.
So let's speak about acoustic, guys. I think we
Yeah,
covered
yeah,
VST and hardware.
yes.
So there is no more talk about VSD and synth and hardwares.
Well, no, no.
No, if you have
You,
some questions, yeah,
yeah.
if
If
you
you
have
want to
some
add
idea, you
something,
can speak with us.
yeah, yeah. Now it's your time to fully speak about something. If something is missing from what you wanted to say about VST versus hardware.
Uh, I have a real